Alright, Papa Pepper here. If you guys saw my recent post, you know that we finally bought our land. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of it. It'll take a little bit. It's about 8 acres, but I'll show you what we're working with. So right here, you see this flag on the corner. Runs straight down that way. Then here, follows this curve up. A lot of this stuff up in here has been brush hogged a couple times. Sassafras tree. Been working on a lot of rock and clay ground here, so when it rains this just fills up, flows down. I'm going to put a rock border at the top. Got a bunch of free plants putting at the top. Witch hazel, canna lily, catnip, daylily, all sorts of different stuff. Yuccas that we can use. And then I'm going to plant probably some creeping Charlie and other stuff along this edge. Do that all the way down here. So, got this front part brush hogged a few times. And you've got the woods in the middle. The goal is to eventually turn the whole thing into kind of a permaculture food forest. So phase out the existing forest. And then put in one that's mostly just edibles. It's already looking alright with some flowers blooming and stuff. Here's where we're going to put in the driveway. Last year I actually shot a buck right here. But here's where we're going to put in the driveway between these two trees. Pull up here, put in probably a 20-foot culvert through the middle of here, put some road-based drive across. When Grandpa Pepper and my mom were down a couple, 2 trips ago, we got to work in here, clearing the driveway. Still gonna have to do some stump removal, but supposedly one of the neighbors might have a stump grinder we can just borrow. And a lot of firewood. Piled up our brush in a couple brush spots just to make it easy to be out of the way. And if we don't get to it, we don't get to it. But the goal is to eventually just chip or shred the whole thing. Let it start breaking down for soil. So it gets pretty windy down here. A couple tornado warnings and watches already this year. Wanted the house to be back in the woods, but also not a straight shot from the west for the wind. So we're pulling the driveway this way and then build the house up in this way. This is one of the flatter sections. Also had a couple of nice trees around. So cottonwoods and whatnot. Get some shade. As you can see, it's a pretty good shaded area right now. It's about 3 in the afternoon. So this is going to be the house site. Somewhere over here we'll probably also just put in a shipping container for storage. Maybe build a deck on top of it eventually. Something like that. And then might make some sort of root cellar / storm shelter kind of closer to the house site right here. A lot of the woods are pretty thick. So we'll be rotating goats and stuff through. Once the goats go through, then I'll come through and do some more chainsawing, take out what we got, switch it for whatever plants you want. A lot of rock, which is fine, that's a building material. You can use that for a lot of stuff. These are some of the plants I got to put in. American beauty berries here, mulberries here. Deer have already been nibbling on them. Here's some stinging nettle, persimmon, wild plum, serviceberry, another pile of brush, and then I'll show you guys too, there's a brush hog section through the middle, which is out through there, which is what we will start kind of establishing some of the garden stuff in and then heading out from there. I'll head back to the street now, but yeah, a lot of rock here, a lot of clay. Well, like I said, it's all stuff we can use. A lot of cedar. That's a good wood, rot resistant, that type of stuff. So we'll be using that for a couple different projects for sure. We'll see what else we get into. Wanted the driveway too to be wide enough. If we need to, we can run cars up one side, park vehicles at an angle on the other side. I'll be putting in some guest quarters eventually is the goal. That way anytime any people come to visit us, we got somewhere to put them up right here. But also, if things ever get really bad and we need to support more families, hopefully the land will be providing a good amount of food. And then we'll have somewhere to put people up to. Still not sure if we're going to go 100% off the grid or not, but there's a good chance. So this is just kind of the boulevard part. considering maybe just getting a young Dexter cow, fencing this in and letting them go. We'll fence in the entire property just to help with detaining animals. Maybe put them in little fences inside anyway, but that way if they get out of their little fence, they'll have one more fence to get through before they're gone. So this is pretty nice, open, good grazing stuff. Drive down it a lot right now, so you see that. That's a pile of blackberries there. I'll probably leave some of it. And we'll be putting in a fence on the border, probably with some stuff like elderberries, figs, American beautyberries, witch hazel, stuff just to kind of a type of little fence there. This is some more resources I got. Ooh, that's a passion fruit. But this is just a whole big pile of flat river stones. They washed down, a couple of floods down the low water, down the creek. Up this way, I'm actually going to be putting in like a big outdoor patio fireplace stuff. In case we got guests want to have a nice bonfire. I'll be working on that, and then the goal is just to build the whole thing out of stone, including whatever benches, chairs, seats, stuff like that. Got some bigger ones we can use for tables. Here's just a little makeshift bench for children right now. And we'll put it up around in here. We'll just kind of patio this whole area with stones, kind of pave it, make a nice little area. Not too far from here is the property line. Well, I guess we'll cut through the woods. So yeah, a lot of this is raw, untamed earth. A lot of different stuff that's useful, a lot of stuff we don't really need. So we'll be exchanging it for things that are more useful. I definitely want to keep things partially wooded. I won't mind holding down some deer. That's a sassafras there. Here's the property line, which runs that way. You can see the next pink one down there. And then same thing heading that way. There's pink right there. So on this side it'll be bluer than green, and all for the good. On this side will be Papa, Mama Pepper, and the Little Peppers. I started taking this out. Same thing as over there. Getting the wood, getting the brush. Rotting wood, that'll be used for hugel mounds. Cedar, so keeping it all separated. Rock. And then here, stumps ain't gonna matter as much because it's not gonna be a driveway. So we'll just let those deteriorate over time. We'll put in a fence from down there, running the length of the property line with bluer than green. Nice to have some stuff already open, like I said, and then we'll move from there. So I'll cut up the property line with you guys right now. So yeah, I actually got 2 deer down on this land last year. What else did we do? There's turkeys, squirrels, rabbits, armadillos, which will be more of a pest. Although some people do eat them. Little blackberry. So yeah, pretty much whatever stuff makes sense to be growing. We'll start growing. There's the driveway again. And my plants in the buckets over there. I'll come up to the clearing. Actually cut in a bit from the property line. This is a deer trail. So, this part's already open. Oh, that's beautiful. Some wild roses right there. Oh, yeah. So we'll start building up the soil, start putting in plants. We got yarrow. So pretty much, yeah, whatever will grow medicinally, herbally, nutritionally, make food for us, we'll start putting in. So here's back to the property line. I'm almost to the other corner here. So I'll be kitty corner from where I started in a minute. And then this is the line that I just showed you. I was cutting in on the other side. Cleared this out last fall just to kind of open it up a bit. Of course, it grows over quick if you just leave it. Now, we do have some water lines running already in, but we'll probably put in a deep well ourselves sometime soon. And then there's the property line there. Along this border, this is going to be the property line boundarying with the neighbor. But there's a path all the way up this too. So I'll keep this as a path. We're staying way up at the top of there. Our land's here. Bluer than Green's land's down there. We'll just keep this walkway for any time us or Blue and the Green want to head up to kind of all the folks' houses up there where we're staying now. Have a nice little community up there. And then I'll put in the fence on this side. Started kind of lining it with rock here and there too. Like I said, there's plenty of it. And this big enough to drive vehicles down as well. But we'll have everything fenced in there. Keep the animals in. Gotta start getting some more stuff pulled out. Clear some stuff. Start putting in my trees. I got persimmon, witch hazel, mulberry, pawpaw, wild plum, redbud, pecan, just all sorts of different stuff. Serviceberry, American beautyberry, Osage orange. Might do some living fences with the Osage orange. Something that can grow up now in about 5 years, just be, you know, bull strong, hog tight. Something to hold it in. But as you see, even just trying to walk the perimeter here, this is a good piece of land. Definitely going to have a lot of potential. I think you guys seen what some people can do with just a quarter acre or a half acre or an acre worth of gardening and stuff like that. So should be land enough that if my kids want to continue on here after I grow up or after they grow up, they can do that. And hopefully whatever we establish now can last for generations to come. You see red peppers up the path there. And we're just about back to the top. There's where we're working goats and hogs and they're clearing through. Just a little bit more here. That's the corner. Pinky, I'm recording a video, hold up. And this actually is going to be the property line here. Running straight up past my truck there, all the way down to that corner. Like I said, a lot of ticks. And some of this stuff we will be raising up our guinea fowl, take care of some of that. Right now I'm just rotating some hogs and goats through. But in a relatively short amount of time, you know, this was some pretty thick stuff. They ate it all down. Then I cleaned up the rest of the trees that I didn't need here. Got a little persimmon there. Keep the stuff we need. They expose a lot of the rock. Can use that. If you let them out for a little bit, they just munch. These are Bluer than Green's goats. And then here's our hogs. One of these was bought from Smaler, and the other ones we just picked up with some steam weed earned. But they'll root around, finish tearing this all up till it looks like that. When it looks like that, I'll cover it in some mulch, dig back, expose whatever I want, start building up the soil, do some chop and drop, do some daikon radish, comfrey, other things to dig it down, begin to work it now, and then use it for years to come. So that's about that. I'll see what the future holds, but it's been a long time coming. Pretty excited about it. Finally bought this land, and now it looks like, thanks to Steam and Steam It, I'm going to be able to afford to build a house out of pocket debt free. So once we own the land, build a house, we'll own the house, own the land, not have rent, not have a mortgage. Property tax should just be a couple $100, and life will be a little easier, especially with growing a lot of our own food, raising a lot of our own meat, that type of stuff. And then Mama and I can just homeschool our kids, work together as a family, make whatever money we need from home together. They don't need to head to the public school. She don't need to head to her job. I don't need to head somewhere to another job. And we can live life together rather than being separated all life. And then when I lie down, when I rise up, when I walk by the way, when I sit in my house, I can teach my children and love my wife. So that's the plan. I'll talk to you guys later. Papa out.